Hi, this is Benjamin Castillo, and today, in episode number one, we're going to talk about my top 7 things you should know or do to change and be one of the lucky or blessed ones. Let's get started. Hi, this is Benjamin, and welcome to our Vensana channel. Remember, it's not about comparing to other people, it's about you getting better than you were yesterday, and that's really what we focus on. In today's episode number one, we're really getting into why some people are so lucky while others seem to struggle in life. First of all, I do want to explain that I put in lucky/blessed because I like to call it blessed. Some people like to call it lucky. So we're calling it lucky/blessed in this episode. But you get the picture, right? You don't want to be a person that does not have luck, is not blessed. You want to be a person that is lucky and is blessed, right? So how can you change, and what are the things you need to do to actually learn about that? Now, there's an article, and I put a link below. This article's name is "Science Shows That Luck is a Self-Fulfilling Prophecy," and you can read more of it. I put the link below, but basically, it gets into some of the research that has happened here, and it's a simple research. It's basically luck begets luck, or blessings begets more blessings, meaning the more lucky you feel, the more lucky you become in real life. The more blessed you feel, the more blessed you become in real life, and it's actually been proven by science, which is tremendous. But today, in my top 7 things you need to know or do to change and be one of the luckier blessed ones, the first 2 are things you need to know, right? And then the next 5 are things you need to do. Okay, so we'll get started with the top 7, and we'll count down and we'll start with number 7. All right, let's get started. Number 7. Okay, so for number 7, it's something you need to know. You really need to know this, which is feeling unlucky creates fear and anxiety, and I think it's mentioned in the article. But when a person feels unlucky, it creates fear and anxiety. Why? Because now they're really they do not feel that things are going to go right. They don't feel that things are going to go right. They're expecting the worst. If they're expecting the worst, then actually the worst will occur. And so this is something that you need to know. And you need to really understand, and that's why a person that is feeling unlucky now needs to actually change to become, to at least want to know how to become lucky, right? This is the main reason, or one of the main reasons. You don't want to create fear, you don't want to create anxiety. There's a whole ton of storms that come with that, and you don't really want that in your life. So that's number 7. That's something you need to know. And now let's talk about number 6, which is also something you need to know. Number 6. So for number 6, here's something you need to know, is when you're feeling lucky or you're feeling blessed, you actually are more generous. You become more generous, you are more humble, and you actually are more attractive to people because people want to be with somebody who's more humble and more generous. That's why the article means self-fulfilling prophecy, because it becomes true, right? So the example is this: if I'm a successful person and I have all of these things that I've become and I've earned, and I have all of these people that look up to me and want to be my friend or want to work with me, want to collaborate with me, and I'm someone who actually really thinks that it's me. It's because of me. It's because of my hard work. It's because of my persistency. It's because of my talent. It's because of my intelligence. Whatever it is, all of those things combined, that's all great. But if that's where it ends, that's where the problem is. There's one more variable that needs to be there, and that is that the person needs to know that they're actually lucky, that they're actually blessed to be in a certain situation. Because they have that one extra variable, which is being, feeling, I feel lucky and I feel blessed, I feel thankful, then I become more generous, then I become more attractive, then I become, it's a humbling experience. It's a situation where you want that to happen, right? So lacking that, not having the feeling of being lucky and the feeling of being blessed really isolates you from other people, from other folks. Those are the two things you need to know, right? Feeling unlucky creates fear, and that's something you don't want. And feeling lucky actually contributes to other things that will make you higher or bring you up higher in terms of just your overall as an overall individual. So those are the top two things that you need to know, number 7 and number 6. Number five is change your perspective. So change your perspective is really, really important to change your perspective in terms of situations. So I'll give you an example. This is the example that's written on in regards to the article, but it's a great example. And that is, for any one particular situation, there could be multiple perspectives for that particular situation. Again, the example that they have is a lady that actually, she gets 5 in a lottery. She gets 5 numbers out of 6 correct, right? So this could be different perspectives. So one perspective is she can say, man, I miss out on that last one. Why does this always happen to me? Why does it happen that I can't ever get something to go right 100%? Why is there something, what is it about me, right? So that's one perspective. Next perspective is, hey, I got 5 out of 6 right. That's fantastic. That's awesome. That's great news. Wow. I mean, something's going right. Wow, I got 5 out of 6. And now I can actually, let me try this. Let me try something else, right? Because it's unbelievable. I got 5 out of 6. It's just fantastic. So those are two different perspectives from the same situation. When you look at it from a higher level, is you say, okay, that's one situation. But how about overall in situations that happen in life? There are so many situations that happen in life, and there are so many different perspectives from each of those different situations. What you need to do is practice and become a perspective and try to get the best perspective, try to make the best perspective out of a situation. Now, there are some situations that are really tough, really hard. I understand that happens. But even in those situations, what is the best perspective that you can select? This is something you need to practice, something you need to do. And that's why I made it into the top, because this is something that you need to practice and do. We talk a lot about that in our training to be able to really gain different perspectives. But this is something that is really extremely important for you to do. Number four is language matters. So what I mean by language matters is, let's say you're a baby and you have a toothache, right? And what do you do to let people know that you have a toothache? You cry, right? You cry, you yell, you scream, you cry. Why? Because you don't have a vocabulary. You can't explain and tell people, hey dad, hey mom, my tooth hurts, right? Something over here hurts. You can't actually express that. You can't say that. So there's nothing else to do but cry and yell, right? So here's the thing. You're not a baby, right? You can actually speak. You can actually say and actually describe what's occurring to you. This is something else you need to practice, which is actually practicing how to describe in terms of how you're feeling. In this case, language matters. So when you're looking to change to become lucky and blessed, you want to actually express in certain words something that's occurred, instead of you coming out and saying, I'll give you an example. The other day I was parking my car. We were looking for parking spaces around. We couldn't find any parking spaces. And then I finally found a parking space, and I put on my signal, and I'm gonna go ahead and get in the parking space. All of a sudden, somebody just goes in the parking space and takes the parking space there. So what would you do, right? At that situation, what would you do? You would get upset, right? Yeah. So I didn't appreciate that, but I came out of the car and actually. I could have done this. I could have just cursed and, cursed this person out. What are you doing? I mean, all this stuff. But what I actually tried to do to this person is say, hey, there's a rule that if I have my signal light on, and I'm saying it like this, I have my signal light on, this parking spot belongs to me. And then the person says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. That was the situation. Okay, I'm going to get out now. And actually, person left, and I parked the car. that situation, I mean, I met somebody who actually wasn't bad, right? But if it was a different situation, it would have been different. The point is that language matters. I expressed what was the situation and what was I feeling and what really was occurring. I didn't just curse and just did all kinds of stuff. That's something else, right? So it's hard to explain in that when you're feeling blessed and you're feeling lucky, the last thing you want to do is say negative things coming from your mouth, right? You want to say positive things. If you can't say positive things, then say things that are neutral, right? But you don't want to get into the negative stuff. You don't want to get into that. It's not good, right? It's not going to happen. And things are not going to happen that are good when it comes to negative stuff coming out of your mouth. You want positive things to come out of your mouth. You want, in a situation like this, you want neutral things that explain in terms of what is going on so that people can understand. I hope that makes sense. Number three is be more open. Keep an eye out for opportunities. That's something that you need to do, is when you're open to new opportunities and you're not just closed off, not isolated, and not very much into yourself, and not want to hear other people's, again, perspectives, then that brings about a situation that it's not going to help, right? So you want to be in a situation where you want to be open. You want to understand, you want to hear what other people have to say, and then assess the situation and learn more about it, learn more about what's happening, learn more about what you can learn. Maybe you didn't know certain situations. Like I talked about the example for the person who took my parking spot. The person didn't know. She didn't see me, or he didn't see me. For some reason or another, they didn't know. Then they learned, right? So they were open about it. They actually said, you know what? Okay, I understand. So in order to be lucky, in order to be blessed, you need to be open. You really need to be open and not closed off to other people's opinions, other people's concerns. All right. Number two is a big one. This is a really big one because this is something that's not taught in schools, is not taught anywhere else. This is, you need to become a great storyteller. And I'm going to explain that. You need to become a great storyteller to be more lucky and to be more blessed. Here's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is, let's say something happens, it's any situation that occurs, and that situation occurs, and even if the situation is a tough situation, you can tell a story and sort of redirect it and bring the good part of it into it, right? So, let's say, I went outside and I fell down and I broke my leg, right? Let's say I went outside and I broke my leg and I had been taken to the hospital. None of this is good, right? So here I am in the hospital, and now in the hospital, I'm in the bed, and they're taking care of me and all that. And here I am thinking, right now I'm outside of work. Now I'm outside of my daily situations, and I'm thinking, and maybe at that point I can think of a new business. I can think of a new way to be more generous. I can think of a new opportunity or a new something else that I want to do in my life. Right? So do you understand that? So it's like something that happened that I didn't really want, but out of that, something else was good that came out of it. So as I tell the story, as I create a story, as I tell the story, I say, look, I had a wonderful situation that occurred to me, guys. Wonderful situation. I have this new approach. I think we can really help these little kids who are going through this situation. And the thought of that came to me when I was in the hospital when I broke my leg. Would it have happened if that didn't happen? I don't know, but that's what occurred. So become a great storyteller. Make the best of things, and then take it to the next level. This is something that's huge, and that's why it's number two. Number one, we talked about it throughout everything that we've said. Number one is just practice. You practice thinking differently. You practice thinking that you're lucky, that you're blessed. Everywhere you go, you practice, I'm lucky, I'm blessed. I'm lucky, I'm blessed. I'm lucky, I'm blessed. Whatever you want to call it. I am lucky and I am blessed. Anything that I do, I'm lucky and I'm blessed. You know, I really believe that. I wake up and I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed. It's just practice. Every day I practice it. Every day I practice it some more. And actually, not only do I say I'm lucky and I'm blessed, I'm actually telling people, guys, man, you're so lucky, or you know, you're so blessed, girl. You're so lucky, girl. Right? So it's like, wow, you know, not only am I telling myself I'm lucky and blessed, I'm actually telling other people, you know, you're lucky and blessed, and you know, that brings a smile to other people's faces. So it's a practice. Basically, it's a simple thing, just practice. Now, when I talk about practice, I have to also tell you about the training that we do. We do life and wellness training with Vinsana. So when we talk about training, this is something that's big, that's so huge, and we're very big believers in it. And that's why our subscribers, actually our members, do have their own private portals where they can learn more and dig deeper into how they can become more lucky and become more blessed, and all other aspects in terms of their life and wellness. So thank you so much for this time. Please subscribe to our channel and like this video. And also, if you want to look at the article, there's a link, as I mentioned below, to learn more about the article, read more about the article. And then also, if you want to, if you're thinking about the training, the life and wellness training, go ahead and click. We also have a link specifically for that as well. All right. Thank you and all the best. I'll see you soon.